Hey y'all, get ready with me while I tell you a story that I've never told anybody. Also, we're doing my lashes. Okay, so at some point about a year ago, I was talking to this boy for about like 2 or 3 months. Like, we had been talking, texting, doing all the things, calling, like all this stuff. He seemed like a super nice guy, texting me constantly, sending me paragraphs, like acting totally obsessed with me. So one night he asked me to come to this party because he was like, I really want to see you, like I really want to talk, like blah 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 blah, like come to this party at this and this address tonight. So I was like, okay. So obviously I text my girls. I'm like, all right, so you know the dude, he wants to meet up at this party tonight. Like, let's go. So they all agree and we decide to go. So I get to the party, I'm talking to him, we're walking around together, like we're doing all this stuff, like we're having a really, really good time. But like the entire time that I was there, this girl like from across the room kept like staring at me, like really, really weird, like just constantly like looking over, staring at me, and I was like, ooh, you know, what could be going on? Well, the girl ends up coming up to me and asking, how do you know my boyfriend? My heart dropped to my motherfucking ass crack. And I was like, I literally stood there. I was like, what? And cause like I genuinely thought she was joking. Like I thought she was like tugging my dick or something. I was like, there's no way that this is happening to me. Turns out she had been dating this man for 2 years. And he was over here talking about taking me on trips and like how he loved me, how he wanted me to meet his mom. Meanwhile, this whole time he has a girlfriend of 2 years. But unfortunately, it gets worse. She starts showing me pictures of them from literally the week before. So I pull up my phone and I start showing her like all the messages between me and him, like how he's telling me he's single and how he's telling me that he loves me and like all these messages and shit. And she sits there and it's like I can see her face like getting fucking red. I felt terrible. So as we're like exchanging all this shit, we realize we're both getting played at the exact same fucking time. And then I turn to go find him, and this man is full on trying to leave the party. Cause I'm guessing that he saw us talking and he's like over here fucking trying to skedaddle his way out of here. But that girl was not having it. Which hell yeah, cause I wouldn't either. So she's like not having it. She fucking waltzes her little ass over there like she was a tiny girl, and she walked with power for sure. So she waltzes over there, she grabs his hoodie, she like, I guess she had his hoodie on, she rips it off, she throws it at him, and goes, explain to me why you told her that you loved her yesterday. The entire party went silent, like we were in a basement, everybody. Like, oh my god. And this man full on turns to both of us and says, it's not what it looks like. Sir, what else would it look like? I think it's exactly what it looks like. So yeah, they ended up like leaving the party. She was screaming at him like in the fucking driveway. Like people were taking videos. Like it. I hope that type of shit never fucking happens to me again, because this is why you can't trust men. Moral of the story, never trust a man. It doesn't matter if he says he's single. It doesn't matter if he says he loves you. It doesn't matter if he says that he wants you to meet his mom. Don't trust a man. But yeah, that's all, guys. I love you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Things my family did that developed my ED. Story time. Disclaimer, we're going to be talking about EDs. If that's not your vibe, keep scrolling. Second disclaimer, obviously no one can just like give you one, okay? There's a lot of things, I'm not going to get into that, okay? My focus is actually going to be on the environment I was raised in that nurtured this whole thing. Lock in. Also, I'm pretty sure most of my family, the majority of my family is already aware. I don't know, I don't care. Anyway, one of the largest contributing factors was the fact that I'm a twin. There's just no getting around the fact that you're gonna be compared. You're gonna be compared to each other, okay? In my family, you're not praised for individuality. You're praised for following the rules, doing what you're told, and just like following the leader, okay? Also, this is not meant as any shade against my family. This is just how it is. But this is just how it happened, okay? There are plenty of people that grow up a twin and don't develop an ED. Like, love that for them. I really do. Let's start off with the fact that my parents loved to tell our birth story. Everyone's first question, who was bigger? Who was born first? Okay? And specifically, the terms heavier and bigger were like already trigger words for me. Done deal. I grew up believing that I was the bigger twin, okay? But my mom, one, didn't do anything pro body positivity. She praised one of my sisters for being like petite. She like loved to throw that around. Like, she still does. She still does. I'm gonna be honest. This is not my sister's fault, okay? She is. She's shorter. She is petite. I grew up hearing the whole so-and-so is so small, like she's the size of my twins, blah, blah, blah. She was just always commenting on my sister's bodies and other girls' bodies. I'm not trying to villainize my mom, okay? But like Miss Girl definitely had it in her mind, skinnier, smaller is better. And I can remember vivid memories of like her praising my sister who played volleyball, like needed padded spandex, okay? And she praised the fact that her hips protruded enough that she required padded spandex to play volleyball. Like, crazy pull there. So between my mom and sibling dynamics, I'm already aware smaller is better and I don't want to be the bigger one. Right? An awareness of boys comes around from like middle school. That's where like the restricting starts coming in, okay? Because I would go home and my brothers would like tease me about being like fat or bigger or whatever. So I started to develop fear of being associated with food because food is what makes you fat. Duh, obviously. So I became terrified a guy would then see me eat and be like, oh my gosh. Like, she's fat, okay? Because she's eating. Fear of food is now in place, okay? So I start restricting. I stop eating in public. And I would say that my disordered eating started as social anxiety of sorts. Middle school is also when I got my boobs. And they were large. They were large for an 8th grader. Like, now something that is very important to understand, and buckle in, my mom associated health and leanness, she still does, with the lack of boob. In my family, it was also depending on like when you got your period. If you got it later, it was representative of how athletic you were. Because duh. It's like a whole nother story. So in my mom's eyes, the sooner you hit puberty, the sooner you got your period, your boobs, whatever, the less athletic you were. I might have to do 2 parts.
Story time about how I got my first ever detention. So this story takes place when I was in 6th grade. And I'm gonna be straight up with you guys, I was a terrible kid. I was a badass kid. I was really bad. I'm not gonna make excuses for it, but it was basically because I got bullied a lot when I was younger. And basically one of these girls that bullied me happened to be my best friend. Little bit of a spoiler alert, she was not my best friend. This girl was the type of girl that would act like she was like mean as a personality trait, but she just genuinely hated you. For example, there was this boy that I really liked and I told her that I liked him and she would flirt with him and she would just act really weird. She'd like make fun of me when I'm in front of him. Like, what the heck, girl? Like, we're like 11 years old and you're already doing this. Weird. Well, my final straw happened to be that toward the end of the year, I was placed having to sit next to her in math class. Mind you, I was already trying to like get farther away from this girl, like emotionally, so that we wouldn't have to be friends anymore, because I was so fed up with her and she happened to be leaving the next year, so I was just checked out with her. Anyway, toward the end of the year, my school was doing this bonfire thing. Basically, it was for middle school, so like anybody that was in middle school could come, and the boy that I liked was coming, so I was excited because to me this was my chance that I could finally make a move and like talk to him and get to know him more without her being around. Except the problem was that she was going to the bonfire, and me being an evil 6th grader that literally would do anything to get what I wanted did something crazy. I came up with this elaborate plan that basically what I would do is I would make a fake email and send it to our group chat with our friends and say the bonfire had been canceled that night so she wouldn't go. And how would I get away with this if my group chat was involved and they could see that email was fake? Well, I got them in on it. I included my friends in it, made them send the same screenshot so that way she would believe it. Evil. I know, but also creative. It went well, and she didn't end up going, and it was amazing. We had a blast. But obviously, the following Monday, everybody was talking about the bonfire and how much fun it was, and she didn't go because she thought it was canceled. So she went home, and she told her parents about it, and her parents contacted the school. Obviously, the next day, I get called into the office, along with about 5 of my other friends. We all get detentions. And if I'm being honest with you, I served the detention and it was so fun. It just felt like a big hangout. But the girl was not happy, and when I walked into that office, it honestly felt like I was getting interrogated by the police. Principal was pissed, the girl was pissed, her parents were pissed, my parents were pissed, everyone was pissed. Did I regret it? At the time, no. Now, I think maybe I shouldn't have done that. Me and that girl are cool now. I honestly haven't even talked to her since middle school, really, at all, but I think we're cool now. And if you're wondering, no, me and that boy did not date, we did not talk. He actually ended up, like, cheating on me. He, like, bought me a Valentine's Day present in, like, 8th grade, and then he was, like, snapping other girls at the same time, so middle school drama. But yeah, that is the story, so thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you want more detention story times. Some of them I probably can't talk about yet, but yeah, thanks for watching.
Story time on how I found out I was pregnant at 19. Well, I'm 20 now, but at the time I was 19. Okay, so me and my baby's dad have been on and off since 2024. And I think the most we went without seeing each other was like a week or two. And clearly we weren't being safe. But when I say this, I genuinely thought I was infertile. And I'm not just saying that to be quirky or anything. I genuinely thought I was infertile. My mom was even like, yeah, like I was even getting worried for you at one point, just because I never get my period. I think I get like my period like 4 times a year. I never get my period. So when it didn't come, it was just the norm for me. So that's how I found out so late. But I did have some signs of pregnancy, but I'm not gonna lie, pregnancy symptoms and period symptoms are very similar, and I don't even think it's talked about enough. So at the end of January, I noticed my breast started hurting so much, and I just kept telling myself, oh my gosh, like I'm just getting my period, I'm getting my period next week, like whatever. But I remember like me and my friend, we were gonna go get a seafood boil, and I remember we were talking in the car about our periods, and I remember telling her that I haven't gotten mine in a while, but I know I'm gonna get it soon because my breasts were hurting so bad. And my breasts hurt so bad every time like I'm about to start my period. They hurt so bad. I also remember us going to a cabin trip and my breasts were hurting really bad as well. And guys, the way that I was eating, I was definitely eating for 2. Also, before I start my period, I also eat so much as well. So I didn't even think anything of it. Looking back at my first trimester when I had no idea I was pregnant, I was getting headaches at work, and I was like, I don't even get headaches, but I was getting a lot of headaches. I was having a lot of constipation, which I guess is a pregnancy symptom. I didn't know about that. I just blamed it on chia seeds because I was drinking chia seeds at the time. I don't know why I thought that. So now it's February, and I go visit my friend for her baby shower. And the day before, I went to Dollar Tree to get tests, and I did not think I was pregnant. Like, I literally didn't. Like, I just got them just a test. Like, I wasn't in a rush to take the test or anything, so it took me like a good hour or 2 to actually pee on the stick. And guys, when I tell you, when I peed on that stick, it was so positive. It was like, as soon as I peed on that stick, those 2 lines popped up right away. Like, it was insane. Like, my mom was honestly scaring me because the lines were super dark. She's like, it's either you're having twins, because there's twins on my mom's side and my dad's side, or you must be very far along in pregnancy because you have so much HCG hormone in you. Which turns out I was a little over 2 months pregnant. Yeah, it was pretty intense. I did not think I was pregnant whatsoever. And then I found out my baby's gender, I want to say 3 weeks after that. And I found out I'm having a baby boy due October 12th.
I was supposed to go on a date tonight, and that is not happening. Story time. I matched with this man on Hinge, and we're making small talk or whatever. He's getting really flirty. Like, very, very flirty. And it's okay to be like a little flirty, you know, like whatever, but this man is being especially flirty. He was saying stuff like, oh, I just know you're gonna be so into me when we meet. And I respond back and I'm like, that's very bold of you to assume that because we don't even have a date planned. To which this man responds, and he's like, yeah, let's go ahead and get that working, like in the works or in the books or whatever. And then he goes, before I do, I need to ask you a question. Okay, sir, what is your question? Is what I ask, basically. He then goes and asks me, how many kids do you have? I respond back and I'm like, I don't have any kids, but I do have a dog, LOL. Also, on Hinge, you can see, like when you look at someone's profile, you can see has children or wants children or doesn't want children or does have kids or doesn't have kids or whatever. You can see all those things. Open your eyeballs is like what I wanted to say back, but I didn't. So that was kind of like my first red flag. Like, you can't use your eyeballs. I don't know, maybe some people lie on the app or like they don't disclose that they have kids and they do, and he's run into that situation before. I'm all for boundaries. I'm all for wanting to respect your own boundaries, and if that's not something you want in a partner, I completely get it. But like, how odd to ask that when I have no pictures with children on there and there's no mention of kids on my thing. Thought it was a little weird. Just kind of like, use your eyes. He's like, okay, perfect. You're in this area, right? And I didn't understand the abbreviation because that's not the city I put that I was in. And I just moved here. He was like, oh, that means blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm not there. I'm close by. I'm in this city. Again, open your eyes and just look at my profile. So he's like, okay, cool. Let's do like 7 o'clock on Friday. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I can make that work. He's like, okay, cool. I'm going to look for spots in that area and I'll get back to you. Don't hear back from him the rest of the day. That's fine. And then I hear back from him the next day. He like makes small talk again without confirming a location. Interesting. I never got a response back after that. Because it's Friday today and I haven't heard from him. I just unmatched because I didn't see anything. Anyways, that's how dating's going.
Okay guys, story time on how I got locked the fuck out of my house last night and got back in without anybody knowing. Okay, so basically I wanted to be at home. I snuck out, whatever. It happens, everybody does that. I got back to my house around like 3:30, okay? And I think I'm solid. Walk through the garage door. Still unlocked, whatever. I go to open the door to get into my house. Shit's locked. Okay? At this point, I start spam calling my brother, like, over and over and over. Like, I called him on Snapchat, I called him on messages, I called him on Instagram. Like, I was trying to get him up. No. I called him, like, 90 times. Did he wake up? Not once. Then I start throwing rocks at his window. You know? Old style. Anyway. So, like, I'm throwing rock after rock, and because usually I grab a handful of like pebbles and throw. Does he wake up? No. Call him some more times. Doesn't wake up. So at this point, I'm like, I'm screwed. I try to find different things in the garage to get the door open. I try to wedge a screwdriver in there and twist it. And at this point, it's like 4:40 in the morning. I'm like done. And I'm like, I know eventually my mom has to wake up and let the dogs out. She normally does it pretty early in the morning. Okay, cool. So, my mom's car is in the garage. So, I'm like, okay, jacket pillow, lay across the back seat. I sleep until about 6:30. And at this point, I get out of the car, crouch behind my mom's wheel, and I'm like, okay, she has to let the dogs out. I'm gonna wait. So, I'm crouching from 6:30 until 8 when she finally gets up. So, an hour and a half. So, super fun, as you can imagine. Not. Anyway. So, eventually she does come out. And at first, she doesn't go all the way outside. So, I'm like, oh shit, I'm screwed. But then, after she feeds the dogs, gets them all their stuff, whatever, I hear her walk outside. I'm like, okay. I don't see any shoes on the ground. I sprint into my house. Don't even shut the door all the way behind me, but who cares? Sprint upstairs, shoes still on. Throw my shoes somewhere. Literally just dive into my bed, and I passed out until about like 12:30, but didn't get caught. My brother's on my shit list, because how the fuck are you not gonna wake up? What if I was being kidnapped? What if I was being murdered? Like, I was in trouble. You're not gonna answer your phone? Anyway, besides the point. But I'm all good and nobody knows. Buckle up, because I have another story time. First, we got to bring it back to December. Last December, I was talking to a guy. Let's call him Jacob. Jacob and I met on Facebook dating. I do not recommend. We hit it off. We go on dates. We're hanging out with each other. By Christmas, he asked me to be his girlfriend. I said yes. I go home for Christmas to see my family. He doesn't celebrate Christmas. I don't hear from him for the 4 days I'm at my parents'. Mind you, he had just asked me to be his girlfriend. Eventually, the silence is too loud for me. I text him, ask him if everything's okay. Long story short, he goes, I guess I'm just not ready for a relationship, babe. It lasted a week. Of course, I was sad. I deleted all of our messages, deleted all of our pictures. I've had enough. But while we were together, he was saying things to me like, I want our kids to have your eyes. I'm going to fly you to Turkey so that you can meet my mom and my family. All these things. I realize now he was just love bombing me. Whatever, we're past that. Fast forward to the end of March. I was out with the girls. I got a little tipsy and I messaged him on Instagram. He's telling me to come over, let's smoke, let's do this and that. The whole 9 yards. I'm too lit at this point. I go home, I go to sleep. That's the end of that conversation. About 2 weeks later, I just happened to see our messages in our Instagram DMs and I see his profile picture is with a really beautiful woman. So I'm like, that's really interesting. 2 weeks ago, you were inviting me over to hang out and smoke and spend the night. And now your profile picture is with a really beautiful girl. So I had a lot of feelings towards him. I was a bitch. I screenshotted it to him and I was like, wow, I'm so happy for you. He texts back and he goes, thanks, you'll find your person. Didn't you just say you weren't ready to be in a relationship and now you're in a relationship, right? I texted back and I was like, that was sarcasm. You were just hitting me up 2 weeks ago for me to come over, but have a good one. Now we fast forward to today, May 12th, 2026. Can you believe I got a hey girly DM? It's the beautiful woman in his profile picture DMing me asking if I am talking to Jacob currently because she's been with him for the past 2 months and is literally about to move in with him next month. So I'm a girl's girl and I fucking hate him. So I tell her everything. I tell her our past in December. I send her screenshots, the whole 9 yards. So because I deleted all the messages and I deleted the deleted messages, I didn't have a lot to go off of to show her, but I had some screenshots that I sent her. So she's thanking me for sending all that and she goes, I caught him with a prostitute girly pop. Oh my God. My queen looked through his recently deleted messages and saw all their messages. So we're kikiing about how shitty this guy is. I'm telling her how he cooked dinner for me. I slept over his house. The comment about flying me to Turkey to see his family, our kids having my eyes, everything. And she goes, copy and paste. He said the same thing to me. She goes, he was literally about to ask me to marry him and we were gonna move in together next month. As we're kikiing about Jacob, I get a WhatsApp notification from Jacob. Poor baby Jacob, his feelings are hurt. He texts me, he goes, actually, you're fucking disgusting. Send her the messages you deleted too. Okay, girly pop. Now I had the time today because men have been testing me all week and I wasn't the one today. So I go, I'm disgusting? You're the one fucking all these people unprotected with your short, small little dick and you got caught. And then I called him a stupid fucking small man. And I don't think he liked that because he read it and didn't answer. So I'm telling girlfriend this, right? She goes, he's trying to blame everything on you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, what's he saying about me? Like, let's hear it. She goes, that you were constantly bothering him, you were using him for sex, and you were making him smoke weed. Mind you, he's coming over to my place, or I'm going to his place, and he's rolling up. Okay. Genuinely, I wish I had that much pull over a man, that I was using you for sex, okay? Period. Mind you, she's a baddie. I'm a baddie. He's out here cheating, looking like a before photo. I would really like to know where men find the audacity so I can get some too. Baby, you're so short, you have to go on your tippy toes to reach the microwave. Men are out here manipulating women and he can't even manipulate his hairline. Okay.
Anyways, me and Girly Pop are gonna be besties now. Now I have a new friend, and fuck that guy.
Okay, story time about how I dated my best friend's brother. Yes, cue that stupid Victoria song. Yeah, okay, yeah, that was me. So basically, I met this girl whenever we were I don't even know, like middle school or something like that, because I'm a military family, they're a military family. They moved in across the street from us, and I started going to swim practice, and I would see her there. And my mom was like, you need to ask her to carpool, because I told her like, oh, I saw the neighbor there, and I was like too scared. I was like, no, I can't. Well, one day she comes up to me at practice and she was like, my parents want to know if your parents want to carpool. I'm like, okay. So we start carpooling, and it was me, her, and her brother. And like years go on, like they end up moving off base to like somewhere like in the neighborhood, but we're still like going to swim practice together. Like we grew up together, like her and I mean, she's still like my literal dearest, closest, bestest friend in the whole world. I'm 22 now, and we were like 13. And so well, like the years go on, like obviously like I know her brother, we're like close friends also, but like, you know, he dates some other girl and like whatever, like I never saw him that way. But also over the summers we worked together, we were lifeguards, the three of us were. And so I remember like the first summer that we worked together, and it was kind of like like, you know, kind of like a sense that like maybe there's like a little something there, but like I didn't really think anything of it. And then the next summer, this was the summer of 2023, it was like serious, like super obvious to me that he was like obviously really interested in me. Like we were like hanging out like every single day, like doing all this stuff, and like obviously my best friend was also there, and so I was like, oh, this is just like our friend group, like chill vibes, like whatever. Well, then like it starts getting like more and more to the point that like every single person is like obviously like, oh my gosh, no, like there's like obviously something going on here, like you guys like each other, you literally hang out every single day. Like he was bringing me like coffee and like food every single day and like all this different stuff and like whatever. But I'm like, no, like that is my friend, like that is literally my friend, like what are you talking about? And like more and more time goes on, I start to realize like, oh, like maybe I do like him. And him and I end up having a conversation about it at the end of the summer. But I was like, you're like leaving for basic training, and like I'm going to college, and I was like, I just can't, like this is not gonna work out. Like you're also like my best friend's brother and like all this different stuff. There was like a bunch of other stuff that I was just like, this isn't gonna work, whatever. So he leaves for basic, I leave for college, and we like kind of talk a little bit, like send him a couple letters, whatever. Well, I come home for New Year's or like Christmas break, and on New Year's my best friend was like house sitting these people's house, and they had like a jacuzzi hot tub, and they're like, if you guys want to use it you can. So the three of us have like a New Year's like party, it's just the three of us like at their house, and we're like drinking whatever, and I was like so scared because I was like, I'm scared that he's gonna try and like kiss me or like something at midnight. And like it was like so, oh my gosh, it was just unbelievably awkward. Like the three of us were sitting there, and then like all of a sudden it was midnight, and I was like, so hey guys, literally the saxophones, I can hear them. Anyways, and so nothing happens, whatever. But like she goes to bed, and then literally like because obviously like they like live together, and I was spending the night at her house because she's like house sitting the neighbors. So then like we go to bed, and like he literally like comes up, like brings me like a blanket and like a jacket because it's like so cold in her room, and like tucks me in and like all this stuff, and I'm like, wait, like what? Like, but then I leave again, and like, you know, he's still in the military, whatever, and then I come back for spring break, and he was doing training like in the same city that we live in, and I come back for spring break, and it's also like my birthday that week, and we're just like texting so much. Me and her are like doing this little out of town like trip for my birthday, like whatever, and he's like texting me so much, and like my best friend's asking me like, I was like, hey, you know, like I think there might be like something going on, like I think he like is serious, like I think maybe I have feelings for him, and he asks me on a date, so I say yes, and then the day before the date I cancel it because I'm so scared, and I was like, this is not gonna work out, and he was like so mad. Oh well, wait, let me back up, because like spring break we're like texting, talking so much, like my birthday comes and goes, whatever, and then we're like, so then I go back to college after spring break, and we're still like talking so much, and we're texting like every single day, like all this whatever. Well, then Easter, we planned to go on a date like on like the Saturday between Good Friday and Easter Sunday, right? Because I was gonna be home. And so then I get home like on Friday, and I canceled the date because I was like so stressed, so anxious. I was like, we shouldn't go on this date. I go over on Easter because every single year we take a photo together. Like literally this year is like our 7th year anniversary. Like every single year, like, and like mind you, we're like long since broken up. Like we take a photo together every single year, and we always have. And so I like go over, and he's like obviously like upset because like I canceled our date and like whatever. And we go for a walk, and I go into that conversation being like, this isn't gonna work, like we should, whatever. I come out of that conversation as his girlfriend. What? Make that make sense. I don't even know what happened. Like, I don't even know what we talked about. I don't know. He's like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Like, let's just do it. And I was like, and I'd never dated anybody. Like, mind you, I'm literally like 20 years old. Like, I'm literally in college. And I was like, okay, so like then we dated, and then like I literally left, and we were long distance. We dated for 7 months. We kind of dated for like a year and a half on and off, but we dated straight for 7 months. And in that 7 months, I think I saw him 10 days, maybe, the whole time that we dated, because he lived in North Carolina and I live in Texas, obviously. And I just like never saw him. And it was just like super crazy. And then he just like super randomly like broke up with me like the day before Halloween. Well, it wasn't like super random. Obviously, there's like a bajillion things that we kind of like got back together. Well, but like we never officially really did. But yeah, but anyways. But me and my best friend are like still literally the bestest of friends. Like I literally told him, I was like, she's gonna be at my wedding and you may or may not be. So like just know that going into it. So that's all to say that you know, I was thinking about like ruin the friendship with like Taylor Swift. And it's like, you know what, like we did ruin the friendship, but like that's okay because like I still have my best friend and lesson learned, and yeah.
Story time. I had to call 911 last night, and I literally thought I was about to lose my life for a hot second. So also, I got First Watch for breakfast because I think after last night, I deserve it. So I got home from work last night at like 9:40ish, and I was not on the phone when I got home from work because when I got off of work, my boyfriend did not answer me when I called him because he was sleeping. Usually, every single time I get off of work, I talk to my boyfriend. I'm scared of the dark. I don't like driving in the dark, and I don't know. We just call every single time I'm on my way home from anything. The one time, he doesn't answer, dude. I reach home, and I'm sitting in the driveway, and on my way home, I was listening to Christian music and talking to God. Probably look like a weirdo in my car, but I do it all the time. I don't care how cringy it is. There's just random moments where I'm just, like, literally talking to God. Like, dude's my best friend, so I'm gonna talk to him. Anyway, so I'm sitting there in the dark, in the front of my house, just talking to God, chatting it up, and then I see a light behind my car, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's probably just a neighbor, like, taking their dog out, you know? And then the light passes again, and I'm, like, looking in, like, my side mirrors. The light passes again. I don't have my glasses on, so, like, I can see well in the dark, but I can't see that well. Like, I can see figures, if that makes sense. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, that's weird. And then I'm looking in, like, my rearview mirrors, and the light goes towards a car that's parked across the street. That's usually where my boyfriend parks. So I was like, oh, man, that's my boyfriend. Like, he's out here. He's getting something from his car. So I get out of my car. Then I look at the man, and that is not my boyfriend. And I was like, for a second, I was like, oh, maybe that's not my boyfriend's car. No, it was definitely his car, and it was definitely not him. And the man did not see me, but he was shining a flashlight in the car and, like, tugging on the doors. And I'm like, oh, shoot, like, I'm already out the car. I don't know what to do. I'm, like, thinking, like, oh, my gosh, do I need to grab something? Like, what do I do in this moment? I had no clue what to do. I decide I'm not going to go inside because I want to be able to watch this man, and there's so many trees I won't be able to see if I go inside. So I hide at, like, the front left of my car. I hide, and I crouch down, I crouch down, and I hide, and I'm watching this man. I think he, like, gives up, I guess, on trying to break into my boyfriend's car. I'm surprised it was locked. I mean, thank goodness. And then he goes to the neighbor's house and looks all in their cars and walks up to their front door and looks like he's doing something there. Mind you, I can't see far away, so I can't exactly tell all the details. And so I'm like, at this point, probably should call the police, right? So I call 911, and I'm hiding in front of my car, watching this man go from car to car, and then, like, I don't even know. Sorry, lost my train of thought. I was thinking about how delicious this is. It's the $1 Million Potatoes from First Watch. Highly recommend. So I'm still talking on the phone to 911. She's telling me people are on their way, and I'm still watching him try and break into now the house instead of cars. So, like, this is the third house I've seen him try and hit. And, like, the fourth car. Anyways, so I'm sitting there, and he starts walking towards my way. And I'm still on the phone, and the first thing my brain did was like, oh my gosh, my purse is in the car. I need to lock my car. So I lock my car. Mind you, I'm still hiding behind my car. I lock my car, and the lights go off, and the noise goes off. And then he sees me. And I was like, oh no. Like, that was really not good. And then he starts walking towards me. And I'm talking to the lady. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's coming towards me. Like, what do I do? And she's like, go inside. Like, what? Go inside. Like, also keep in mind, he has a flashlight in one hand and some very large item in the other hand. I don't know what the large item was. It almost looked like a fire extinguisher, but I can't see in the dark. So, can't tell you exactly what it is. I was trying to figure out, and I was honestly stressed because this man started walking towards me in the dark. Mind you, I have nothing to protect myself with. So I was just kind of like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? My life literally flashed before my eyes. So I hurry inside, and he decides to turn around and stop following me because I think he realized I'm much quicker than him, and he needs to just leave. He needs to just go. I get inside, he gets in his car, and then he drives away. I ended up talking to the police. They came to my house, and I tried my best to give them every detail I could. I tried my best to give them every detail on the car. Couldn't really see the car because it was dark, and I couldn't see the back of the car. I couldn't see the front of the car. I couldn't really move because when I was outside, I didn't want him to hear me, and I didn't know what he had on him. He probably could have had something. I'm not sure if he did or not, but I didn't want to put myself in more danger. So anyways, I think it was a blue Subaru. I'm not sure. It was dark. I couldn't see. So, yeah. Told the police all the details that I could remember. I tried my best to share everything in detail, but then again, it was so, I was not expecting that. I was just not expecting that. I wasn't ready for that. They ended up calling me later on in the night asking for more details and that they were still looking for him. They hadn't found him yet. But yeah. Also, my boyfriend went and talked to the neighbor whose house he was really trying to break into, and she said that she ordered Instacart and that it could have just been the Instacart person. Instacart person or not, this man was not just trying to deliver something. He was not. Why was he 2 houses away? He was just not trying to just deliver something. I was like, yeah, that could have been him, but he was trying to break into your car too. So and he was trying to break into my boyfriend's car. And he was trying to break into the neighbor's car and the neighbor's house. So, definitely wasn't just delivering his Instacart. I don't know. I'm a little bit traumatized from him trying to come after me and then me being like, oh, wait, I don't have anything. I should probably go inside. But I did not get good sleep, and I have to work today. So I'm going to try and take a nap. But there is the story time of what happened to me last night.
Speed round story time of the time that I got a stalker my senior year of college. Okay, so let's paint the scene. I'm 22. I'm working in a fine dining restaurant. It is the ugliest uniform you've ever seen in your entire life. It is one of those aprons down to your ankle. It is the white button-up shirt that you get stains all over, so it is just absolutely gross. Everyone in your job hates everybody else because everybody's on tip pool, so everybody's angry. Everybody's underpaid and overworked. It is the worst work environment you've ever worked in your entire life. So you hate it. So all you want to do is talk to your tables because everyone is so mean and everybody's just shit-talking you in corners and things like that. So you're like, I fucking hate this job. Just shit is shit, okay? I was in a terrible headspace. I had a raging Adderall addiction, cocaine addiction, always high. I was just off my rocker. I probably was a terrible waitress because I was just drugged up. So, barely hanging by a thread, super suicidal, barely trying to graduate college. It was not a good time for Kate. And, oh, yeah, I had a fucking puppy. I had a puppy at this time too. My life was just a newborn single mom. That's how it felt. Okay. And so life was hard. And so I have this 3-top table. This man is asking me a bunch of questions. He's zoned in on me. I'm like, your vibe is weird. I don't like this. Take a step back, sir. And he started asking me questions about where I lived. And I never lie, which, you're looking at me. You're like, Kate, what do you mean? You tell people where you live? I tell people where I live. I am that dumb bitch in every scary story that gets killed first. I am not the main character. I am the friend that literally is the first one to go, okay? And so, anywho, so I lied to this man, thank God, but it didn't fucking stop anything because he proceeded to watch me walk home that night or go to my car. He proceeded to watch me walk to my car and then he followed me home. Did I notice? No. I was just focused, eye on the prize, bong is at home. So I'm driving home. Also, keep in mind, he ends up following me home for months. And I go a different way home every single night because I'm trying to get through the stoplights as fast as possible, get home as fast as possible. I'm like, this is a game for me. And normally didn't work out well because, anyway. Anywho, so I would get home, I would be rushed, I would go straight to the bong, and then I would take my dog out pee in the front yard. I lived in a college apartment complex that had a big plot of turf and some volleyball nets around it, so that's where I would take my dog out pee. Sorry, turf is also gross. If you went to the University of South Carolina, that's, anyway, not relevant, because I'm not going to tell you my apartment complex. Actually, I can. It was the cottages, if that is any relevant. So if you guys want to go look that up, I don't live there. I'm never going to move back there. I'm never going to go back to South Carolina. So, anywho, that is where I go home to, and I take my dog out potty every single night. And then every single night, I see this black truck circle the turf and then leave. I did not think this had anything to do with me. Again, like I said, I was high, I was stupid, I was really struggling, I was fighting for my fucking life. The last thing I could do was orient myself to the time of day it was, basically, other than nighttime. So, I would get home, I would see this car circle around and then leave, and I did not put it together that it was coordinated to me specifically. I thought it was just generally he did this every single night. I thought he was looking at the apartment complexes to squat. Like, I thought he was just gonna see who was moving out and like whose place he could stay at. Like, I knew it was sketchy, but I didn't know it was directed at me. And so what did I do? I would see this car circle around and I would make hand gestures at him and I'd be like, what are you doing? Why are you turning? I'm leaving. And then I'd be trying to like take pictures of his license plate. Like, so fucking obvious. Again, dumb bitch that would die first in a movie, okay? So this happens, and then one night I see the truck park behind my apartment specifically. I have those 2 glass French doors that open right up to the parking lot from my bedroom. Super convenient for parking, not convenient for stalkers, okay? So I see him park behind my door and jump out of the car. I'm like, oh my god, he's mad at me, he hates me because I'm trying to report him to the cops. Fuck. So what do? I call the cops. Call the cops to report the vehicle. I'm like, I can't get a picture of his license plate, blah, blah, blah. Also, he drives off at this point because he sees that I'm on the phone, obviously. So the cops are like, can you give us any more information? I was like, no. And they were like, okay, well, this vehicle matches the description of another vehicle that was reported, so we'll be on that. Somebody will be contacting you shortly. The next day, my security guards at like the apartment complex come to my front door, knock on the door, and they're like, we're here to talk to you about the reported vehicle. I was like, okay, beautiful, thank you. And they were like, so have you noticed this car anywhere else? And I was like, no. And they were like, have you noticed like any body around you? And I was like, no. And they were like, okay, so brace yourself. Okay, girlfriend. This man we've caught on your property every night for the last 3 months, watching you sleep between the hours of 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. He goes behind your AC unit, behind those French doors, and he watches you sleep. You should really consider getting less sheer curtains because that is so dumb. Even the cops told us that was dumb. I said, oh, thank you so much. I needed that as well. Tell me I'm dumb while you're telling me I'm a stalker. Just kick me while I'm down, okay? And so they're like, he said he's your boyfriend, we've come and caught him many times, blah, 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 like, yeah, by any chance are you a waitress? And I was like, I am, why is that relevant? And they were like, oh, because he's been arrested for this multiple times. Yeah, so this is actually what he does. He loves waitresses. And so he's actually been, he's been arrested, but he keeps getting bailed out. I'm like, does this man have a fucking job? He has the time to follow me literally everywhere and watch me sleep. Like, are you sleeping? What are you fucking doing? You fucking weirdo. Anywho, so I'm just like shell-shocked at this point. Like, I'm already out of my body, like trying to fight for my life. Like, I'm already wanting to die. So I was not there. I was like, okay, great, awesome. I just prayed on the ground last night that I feel stuck and I need an exit. So Chick, thank you so kindly. I don't have to put in a 2-week notice to my job anymore. I can leave. So I text my boss. I'm like, hey, this happened. They were like, yeah, you are good, girlfriend. Go. Because I was like, I think I need to go home for a minute. Like, I'm terrified. So I go home. My lease ended in the week. Like, this literally timed out so well. That's the only reason I can like make sense of this shit logically still, because I'm like, I'm protected. Big Daddy in the sky. I do genuinely believe that, and you could think I'm fucking nuts and stupid because that's all I portray to the internet is that I'm nuts and stupid, and you know, it's probably partly true. So, anywho, that got me out of a lot of shit. So I didn't have to, I was supposed to move to Charleston that summer. I was like, I had an internship set up. I like never found an apartment. I never even looked for an apartment. Like, I was just gonna crash on an independent's place. So it just like really worked out in my favor. But then I went home and I had like a crazy series of panic attacks, and then I didn't process my fear, so it came out sideways, and then I went to rehab. So I feel like all of my crazy stories coincide with rehab, but actually, no, they don't all. Don't worry, I have a lot of content. But yeah, I don't think there's any more else to say about the story. I feel like I covered all ground. So that was my stalker. Hope he's well. It took me like 3 years to feel safe in my own body again. But we're back. So yeah, that's my stalker.
Get ready with me while I talk about times where I have almost been kidnapped, abducted, and trafficked. This all started when I was a little girl. The first time that happened is when I was 6 years old in a Walgreens with my mom. My mom was at the very end of the aisle, and I was looking at these pool toys. They were like inflatable toys. It was like one of those like circular long tube things, like those floaty things. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I don't really know what they're called, but that's what I was looking at. And he comes over, like this tall man I see at the opposite side of the aisle. My mom's on the other side, and I'm in the middle. So basically this guy, he's about like maybe like mid-30s or so. He was with his wife, but they only reconnected at the very end when they were like in the line. But I only saw them when they were in the line, so I don't really know if she had anything to do with it. But this guy, he stops in his tracks, he looks at me, and he like almost contemplates for a second, and then he just charges full speed at me, like out of nowhere. I mean, honestly, imagine if you were a little kid and you were just minding your own business and then you just saw this coming straight at you. Like, I honestly, he was like looking dead in my eyes, like running towards me. And then I literally just dropped the pool floaty, and I have a flight response, so I just like bowl over to my mom, which thankfully she was at the very end of the aisle. He grabs the pool toy at the very last second when he notices my mom, to make it not seem as suspicious, I guess. And then he like goes like this, like pretending to like play for a second. My mom looks over because I'm now like right next to her, and she's like, what the hell? Like, she's just looking at this guy, and he's like, oh, I just saw her like playing with like the pool floaty, and then I just wanted to like, you know, mess with her. I don't know what exactly he said, but he said something along those lines, and I felt really bad vibes from this guy. It was really, really terrifying at the time. But that was just like one experience that kind of just stuck with me. And now I'm going to skip the timeline to when I'm about like 15 years old, because there's a lot of times where this has happened, but I kind of want to save those for another part if you guys are interested. But basically, I was in the mall with my best friend, and we went in there and we were trying to like look for like dresses, or I think we were just in there. I don't know, we just wanted to hang out in the mall. We see this guy pretty much following us for about like past 5 minutes. We look back, he's like some Indian guy, maybe like mid-40s, and we're like, what the hell is he doing? Because he's staring at us really creepily, and he will just not go away. So we went into Macy's, we just hid out in there for a while, and then we left, and I don't think we saw him for a bit. Actually, we did. We went to Lush, or whatever it's called, the bath and body place. They kept talking to us for like a good like 10 minutes. It was so annoying. And then we see the guy pass, and he looks at us, but then he gives up and then he just leaves, which thankfully we're talking to somebody. So, I mean, everything worked out with that, but it's just like really scary that I always have to be on my guard, and that this happens to a lot of women. And this was the latest experience that I have happened. This probably happened about, I don't know, like maybe 5 months ago or so, because I was shopping for a Christmas gift for my boyfriend. Basically, I went to the mall by myself, which I have learned that I need to be on full guard, which I was on full guard at the time, but I don't even know what happened. It was just bad luck, bad timing, pretty much. Sorry, I had to take like a quick coffee break for a second. So basically, I was like looking like pretty much a boy that day. I had like sweats on, a sweatshirt on. I was just trying to get one thing, which was a gift for my boyfriend. So I go in there, and I park, thankfully, like pretty much right next to the entrance, and it's pretty busy at this point. So I go in there, and I see this group of guys. They're like mid-20s or so, and they're like all huddled together next to like, I don't know, they're like in this couch area, pretty much where the main population is like walking to stores and stuff. So I'm walking like by them. I don't even see them at first, and then I just hear, yo, like, I just hear like, yo, your shoes look so good, baby, or some shit like that, like some creepy thing. They complimented something. I just look behind me, and I'm like that, and then I just look the other way. No, I'm not gonna say, oh, thanks, oh my gosh, thank you so much. But basically, I kind of just brush it off. I'm just like, okay, they're just weird. You know, they're weird guys. So I go into PacSun, and I'm looking for things for my boyfriend, and I think I did end up finding something. I'm not sure, but I found myself a lot of good stuff. So, yeah. So, anyways, after 30 minutes of being in that store or more, I leave the store, and I see the guys again. And I was gonna go to a different store, I think, but I think I probably did at one point, but then I was like, I gotta go, because I don't want to encounter this group of guys again. So I am walking past them once again, and I'm just not making eye contact with him. I'm just trying to mind my business, and I hear, yo, like, hey, like, lady, hello, like, hey, like, keeps trying to, like, get my attention. I do not engage with that at all. I don't entertain whatever they're trying to do. I just keep walking. And also, you can kind of say this is probably just, like, a weird encounter with, like, creepy guys. You can't really trust anyone. It could have been, like, a trafficking thing, an abduction thing. I'm not too sure, but I'm very skeptical of a lot of people, so. Anyways, so I keep walking, and I keep hearing them, like, continuing trying to say hi, like, hello to me or whatever, and I am just weirded out. So I keep walking, and then I go to, like, this corner, and before I turn the corner fully, I look back to make sure they're not following me, and then I just hear, like, I just see them going, like, what the fuck, like, come on, you know, like, trying to, like, guide, like, you know, trying to, like, you know, like, they're, wait, what? They're just trying to, like, make me come over there, and I'm like, in what world would a normal human being would be like, that sounds like a really good idea, you know, let me go to this group of guys that are trying to, like, you know, talk to me, and that I'm alone, and I have a boyfriend, like, that makes perfect sense, for sure. It was so stupid. So then, when I immediately see that, I kind of just freak out, and I just, like, speed walk out of the store, and I keep looking behind me, and I keep going in blind spots, because I'm very paranoid about situations like this, and I've heard a lot of horror stories about stuff like this, so I don't care if I'm being dramatic at all. I just, literally, the second I get out of those doors, I run to my car, and people probably thought I was, like, on drugs, or, like, I was stealing something. I did not care in that moment. I just wanted to leave, because for all I know, they could probably be following me right now. Like, they could probably be, like, a couple, like, feet behind me. So I just keep going, and I go in my car, and then that's, like, the end of that. And I was so thankful I even got in my car, because I thought I was gonna die. Also, you guys, I have plenty of other stories, but that is all that I'm going to share today. Let me know if you guys want a part 2, or maybe, like, a part where I'm talking about, or maybe, like, a get ready with me and talking about ghost experiences that I've had, because I have had a lot of ghost experiences to the point where I can't even think that ghosts aren't even real. Like, that's not an option for me anymore. But anyways, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, let me know if you guys want a part 2. Bye!
Hey guys, get ready with me while I'll tell you guys how I found out my ex-boyfriend did things with my best friend. Okay, we're gonna start it off by me and my best friend getting to know each other in 7th grade in science class. So she was this new girl and she didn't really know English. Okay guys, wait, aside from the story time, if my makeup turns out a little bad, is because I haven't done my makeup in a while. Okay, but getting back to story time. Okay, so we're gonna call her Ariana. They sat Ariana behind me because there was no more desks, and obviously since she was the new girl, she was really shy and she wouldn't really talk in class. So when she needed help, the teacher would always ask me to help her out. So let's just say it's already the middle of the school year, and me and her were already getting like these strong connections, but we also didn't really know each other that good. Okay, so we were getting to know each other in the summer to go to 8th grade. That's when we really like found out that we just both really needed each other, because I also found out that she was getting bullied in her old school, and that was the reason why she moved to the school that we were in and that we met in. We started talking a lot, and then we found out that me and my ex-boyfriend and her had 1st and 4th period together. All this was at the beginning of the year, so it was really hard for me to get through that 8th grade year. In the summer, to go to 8th grade, we're just gonna call it in the summer. So in the summer, I had been getting a lot of calls of, I don't know if they were his friends or just other people. They would call me with no caller ID or with their number. They would text me through other phones, telling me and showing me videos of him being with other girls, well, cheating on me multiple times, and I still stayed, guys. I still stayed. And I just never really listened to them, because when I would confront him about it, he would always say that, oh no, like, that's not me, or like, I wouldn't do that to you. And he would just always say, no, he didn't, and no, he didn't, and I would always believe him. That happened probably more than 7 times where people would call me. I also have screenshots and videos of those calls and videos of messages that they would send me, but I cannot show those. Okay, so then it would also just get to the point where just like a lot of people would just tell me that, oh, I saw him here, I saw him there with like another girl, or he's been doing this with another girl, and I would just never believe the people, and I would always go to him. So get that in your mind, that I would just never believe the people and I would always go to him. So it was the beginning of the school year, and me and that girl had just gotten super close. So then me and that girl, Ariana, my best friend, we're just gonna call her my best friend for now because, okay. We had gone really close, and we got like these really special connections that we just both really understood everything. Mind you, that year, my best friend also had moved to a different town, so I was basically alone, and I just had my ex-boyfriend. Aside from the story time, you guys know I don't put anything on my forehead because of my acne breakouts. Okay, going back to the story, I'm sorry guys. And for the ones who don't, I'm sorry. I used to do Get Ready With Me, so that's how most of you guys know. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go back to it. Okay, so let's just say me and Ariana, my best friend, had gone really close, and since she would tell me a lot about her, I would tell her a lot about me. We just both were there for each other. And mind you guys, I thought she had the sweetest soul ever. And for most of the ones who know this story, I'm pretty sure like half of the ones who follow me here know this story. You guys know that I thought that she had the sweetest soul. Like, I swear guys, she was the most innocent, beautiful soul, sweet girl ever. And she did so much to me. Okay, so since we had 4th period together, she got my phone number. And she got my phone number in 7th grade, but we just really never called or talked till we had 4th period together, which was math. We both had trouble with math. We would both understand it, but we both needed help. So we just figured that we could both help each other out. This is my playlist, by the way, I'm sorry. Okay, so we just both figured that we could help each other out and not have trouble with that class at all. So we would call every single day, like at 6 or 7, to help each other with our homework. If she didn't understand something, I would help her out with that. If I didn't understand anything, she would help me out with that. And we would just both compare homework. Till it came to the day where it was a Tuesday and we were on call, we were doing our homework and everything. And she told me okay, mind you guys, I'm the type of person to have sleepovers on a school day and go to the school with that person the next day. So she asked me if I could if I could have a sleepover at her house and we could both go to school together the next day. So I asked my mom about it, but since my mom didn't really know her mom or her dad that much, my mom said no. But if my mom could get to know her mom and her dad a little more, then I would get to the point where I could go sleep at her house. So then my mom said no, and she asked if she could stay to sleep at my house. And her mom said no because she didn't know my dad. So we were like, okay, fine. We can just do it another day once they meet up. But then she came up with this idea that she could, mind you, I was in cross country season by then. So I would be like really busy like in practices, or I would just go out to run in general. She came up with the idea that she could come home with me after school or after practice, and because she really had to tell me something. So I was like, okay. So I asked my mom about it and she said yeah. Her and my now best friend came with me after school because that was the plan that Ariana had made for me and Ariana to come to my house after school. So she waited for me and my now best friend to get out of practice so she could come home with us. And that was the day that my mom met both of my best friends. Then one is still my best friend, but that was the day that my mom met Ariana and my other best friend, and my mom really liked both of them. My dad even came up like with conversations, like they talked and everything, and they got to know each other. So then my other boy best friend wanted to come over, but he didn't have a ride. Mind you, me and him both play the guitar, so we both like kind of like try to collab, but it didn't really work. So he wanted to come to play the guitar with me and for Ariana and my other best friend to kind of hear us. So we went to go pick up my boy best friend to his house. We get home and Ariana and my other best friend were still in their uniform. So I asked if they wanted to borrow some of my shorts so they can change and not be uncomfortable with their uniform. They said yes. So Ariana and my other best friend got into the restroom to change, and me and my boy best friend just stayed outside. We were singing and we even recorded how we sang. Like, we were just having fun. It was like really like fun for me that day because I was already like in that mental thing where like I was already sad because my ex-boyfriend had already done so much things to me. So I just really needed to like, you know, like have at least like a fun day. So then they got out and everything, and then Ariana tells me that she has to talk to me. And obviously I didn't think anything like of it. So I was like, okay. But then she told me that she needed to tell me like just me and her. So then after that, my boy best friend was like, I'm hungry. So then I told my other best friend, I was like, can you go like serve him some lasagna? Because before he even got here, we ate lasagna. So I was like, can you like go like serve him please? And I know it's like my house and I'm like supposed to like, you know, but she needed to talk to me, and obviously I wasn't gonna be like, can you guys get out? Like, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not rude like that. So then I was just like, okay, can you go serve him? So my best friend went to go serve him, and Ariana told me that my ex-boyfriend forced her to do things, and I was in shock. I was like, what? And I was like, what do you mean? And she told me that supposedly it was a Thursday. Mind you, that Thursday that she's telling me about was the day that my ex-boyfriend was hanging out with my boy best friend's little brothers. And my boy best friend lives in apartments. So like obviously like a couple of like friends live there too. And that Thursday that she told me that it all supposedly happened, I also got told that my ex-boyfriend was caught kissing another girl. Mind you, he stayed asleep at my boy best friend's house. That boy best friend is the boy who went over to my house and was now eating lasagna. Okay, you guys have to go to part 2 because I'm running out of time. So I'll just see you guys in part 2.